Hey guys, this is not a technology related blog, this is just going to be a film review of Sinister. Sinister is the biggest load of crap I have ever seen. It's too predictable, because I know this is going to sound a little bit big-headed, but because I'm a media student, and now that I've learned like the proper use of the rule of thirds, I now hate media for doing this to me. I can't sit down and watch a normal film. I've got to analyse it. Like Sinister, you could tell which things are going to come up, because his face was on the bottom half, so I thought, alright, something's going to pop up here, and guess what? It did. And then it's all about the music as well. It goes and then stops, and then complete silence, only the environment taking effect, and then boom, and that's when the guy enters. They could actually add no effect to that. They could just go boom, and it'd make people scared. I did not flinch once in that film, and it was absolutely crap. Everyone thinks it's the greatest movie ever. It's not. I've seen much better films with much better effects. It was just basically a media course in a scary film. That was it. It's a good plot line. Don't get me wrong. It was a good plot line. Family moving the house, a house, because the dad wants to write a book about this county in America, and about like the missing children from it. So fair enough. But then, he finds these tapes in the attic, of the family's memories, and somebody's recording them. You don't know who's recording them, but somebody's recording them. And then at the first cut of the like vintage film footage, like they show the death scene. Like there's a family being hung by a tree. There's another family that's being lit on fire in a car, and then there's another family that's been cut their heads off, but the children is always missing. And then it leads you through all these things during the film. Like it could actually be like one of the theories that they had is that the guy killing them eats the children. Like you never see the kid being killed, you just see him like normal. So they're being killed. No, the parents are being killed, but the children are not. And one kid survives. And then I have just told the story, but you're not really there for the story. You're there for the jumps, the threats, all that stuff. Yeah, and it was right. I'll get the basic storyline out. Right, they move into the house because the dad wants to buy a book. Then he finds these videotapes, and he goes and he researches them like frame by frame, trying to find the man killing them. Goes all like talks to people all over the globe to find him. And it turns out these people have yeah, I'll just leave it there. And then he starts finding the children in the house, like scary moments. And he woke up with a baseball bat in his hands on the couch. And then when he eventually sees something like the boogeyman or the children, he eventually decides to move out of the house, go to where he used to live, and then he finds out that the people who died lived in that house previously, lived in the haunted house previously. So it's kind of good. So by him moving back to his previous house, or a new house, he's made time go faster in the buggy land. That's what the enemy's called, Mr. Buggy. I couldn't stop laughing when he was called Mr. Buggy. I was like, let's buggy, like, you know, the angry video game nerd. There's an episode of Angry Video Game Nerd when he's shown the error over his ways, and then he goes into the future playing Wii games. Like, look at the graphics on this. It's Far Cry 2. Like, look how pixelated it is. And then he puts on Let's Buggy, and he goes, let's boogie. Yeah, I digressed. It's the biggest load of crap I've ever seen. I give. To be honest, there were some. Well, I didn't jump, but there were. Like, he finds out that there's somebody. One minute, a lorry's going past. Like a lorry. Not a lorry. Like, he analyses the video, like, frame by frame, and then he goes on to, like, where the people were killed was just outside their house. So, yeah, he placed he printed it off, he placed it on the window, and then revealed it back, and you knew it was just like, silence, bong, and you knew he was going to be there, just by comparing them. People all around the cinema were like, oh my, like, most of them were girls. I know I sound miserable saying this, but it was really a crap movie. I really wanted to leave. Half an hour in, I thought, am I really gonna use my time up watching this film? And I just thought, since I'm here, I might as well get a story out of it. Actually, no, the things only started happening like an hour in. Like, all they were doing were like simple effects. Like, it was what he like the noises from the attic. He'd go to the attic, then he's got some like more footage. Then he falls through the attic, analyses that footage because he took his video camera up there, and it just so happens that the camera fell and placed on him. Like, it started recording him. So that's. I know it's possible, but the likelihood of that happening is nil. He analyses the video of him falling through the attic, and he sees arms and hands pulling him down. So, yeah. And I know I've just said less like 2 minutes ago, or even 30 seconds ago, but I do sound miserable. But I honestly think it was a waste of £3. I hate media. I hate media of what it's done to me. I'm watching things, and like the framing, like, you know, it was like when the camera was moving, when it was a freehand camera, when it was moving around the people. I just thought something was gonna come out on the right hand side, or something was gonna run past, because it was looking down a corridor, and with the rule of thirds, if something's on the right hand side, it means, well, if something's on the left hand side and it leaves the two, and it leaves the middle and the right hand gap, well, you know something's going to pop out. Me teacher Chris at college says this a lot. It's like the Scooby-Doo effect. You know, like if Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are running down the corridor, like there's infinity loops of like picture frames, drawers, vases, and you know, and as like they're in the middle for the whole time, and then as soon as Shaggy and Scooby move to the right hand side, you know the bad guy or the swamp monster is going to come out and then run after him. That's how basically I can put it, and it's that kind of mechanics of media that I do hate. Like, we've just started doing storyboards in detail, and I hate it. No, I don't hate storyboards. I hate what they mean. every film I've watched since we've done the storyboards in greater detail, I've been thinking, oh, they've drawn that, and then they've like, say if it's well, I wouldn't say a pull focus, but what's it called? Like gradual zoom, emotional zoom. You'd have to draw that frame by frame, and it was very good. In some respects, it's good because it gets all the conventions right, but in loads of disrespect, it was not jumpy at all. Everybody kept saying to me, I'm not a normal person. Why? Well, I honestly think it was a terrible film. I know there's worse films out there, but Insidious, right? You could tell Sinister was directed by the same guy who did Insidious, and the guy from Saw, James Wu, he directed Saw, and he also executive produced Sinister. And you can see that in some respects because, the mask from Saw is altered slightly and then put on this guy called Mr. Buggy. You can tell that, but where Sinister fails to frighten me, Insidious did in some respects. Like the one bit that I actually got scared of is when the dad is going through the house and he's got a lantern, and I'm actually holding a lantern up here while I'm walking home. He's got the lantern up, and he's going around people, and they've got the mannequins, and he's going around the mannequins, and they're obviously alive because you can see them blinking or shifting their eyes or sweating, or they've gone from like a medium smile to a high smile. And the one thing that hit me up is when he moves, like he gets frightened, he goes to the staircase and the camera shifts to reveal his face, and behind him is 4 characters. And for storyline and plot, I'm going to give Sinister 7 out of 10. For execution of intense and scream factor, about a 3 out of 10. For anything else, like acting was pretty good. I think the little boy in the film should have used a haircut, because I couldn't tell if it was a boy or with long hair or a girl with a very deep voice. I couldn't tell. There's a first scene when the dad's walking through because he hears a noise, and the boys in the box like rummaging around, and as the dad gets closer and closer to the box, the boy comes out, and at first I thought it was a woman. Who just like woke up there or got transported there by Mr. Buggy. The acting, the argument scene was pretty good. I'd give the acting about a 6 out of 10. Execution of scream factor 3, and storyline 7 or 8. Oh, my mum and dad aren't know. Oh yeah, they've gone football, haven't they? They should be coming home in a minute. Thanks for listening to my Sinister review. It's going to be in 2 parts, so thanks for listening, and see you next podcast.